Well, welcome back. It hasn't been a long period of time, but it's been a very busy week, and welcome back. On behalf of the Ottawa Sports and Entertainment Group and the Ottawa Fury FC, very proud today to introduce Paul Dalglish as the second head coach of the Ottawa Fury in our short but illustrious history. He will hold the title of head coach and general manager. We need to build on the amazing progress we've made in the last two seasons. There can't be any looking back for us. We're the reigning Fall Season Champions. We're the 2015 Championship finalists. We've set the bar very, very high. In Paul Dalglish, we've selected one of the most exciting young coaches in North America. Paul had a playing career that included spells in the highest levels of the game in England and Scotland. Moving on to the US, he enjoyed success at the Houston Dynamo, winning the MLS Cup. He later started his coaching career with the Dynamo before taking the reins at Tampa and then at Austin, where he led the Aztex to the PDL Championship in just his second season and was voted Coach of the Year. That sounds familiar. In 2014, he was appointed assistant coach at MLS Real Salt Lake, and in 2015, he was coaxed back to Austin to lead their expansion professional team. As you will soon learn firsthand, Paul's passion and appetite for the game is infectious, and the energy and strong values that he will bring to the role will have a very positive impact on the club. He has the contacts and reputation within soccer to attract players worldwide, and Paul will immediately, and has already started, to look forward to strengthening the roster for 2016 and building on our highly successful 2015 season. His proven ability to spot and develop young talent will be a great asset, and fans are going to enjoy his attractive playing style. And yes, Paul is the son of the man many consider Scotland's greatest ever footballer, Kenny Dalglish, a man who fortified his legend as a player by carving out a highly successful managerial career with Celtic and Liverpool. At a moment like this, it's important to revisit what the vision of the club is. And it's written down, believe me or not. I think it's even on our website. It is provide the highest quality family sports entertainment at an economic and substantive value to our community, to provide players in our community with the best possible opportunities to realize their full potential, to be a strong supporter of Canada's national team. That one might be difficult for an Englishman. To be active participants in our community, and I know Paul is dedicated to that task. And of course, to win the North American Soccer League and the Amway Canadian Championship. In Paul Dalglish, I believe we have the right man to help us achieve these goals. Enough from me. I'm thrilled to welcome Paul as our new head coach and GM, and like to invite him to make a few comments.
Thanks, John. Yeah, I'm delighted to be here, and one of the first things that I want to make clear is the work to thank Mark and Martin, especially, and Philippe for the work that they've done so far. This was such an attractive job for me because of the work that they've done, and there's not many opportunities that you can get in the game where you follow success. Normally when you go into a team, you're either starting an expansion team or you're trying to fix a club that's had a bad times and you've got to rebuild. Well, this is a pretty unique opportunity in the game where you can go in and just keep the train going. What they achieved in 2 years is incredible. But I want to make very, very clear that I'm my own man, and I wouldn't have taken this job unless I thought I could improve what's already been done here. So I'm here to work. It's not really important what you think of me today. It's important what you think of me when I leave. And I'm going to work tirelessly and diligently to make sure that we produce the best soccer team that we can here, and let's try and bring a championship to this nation. And that's my goal, is to try and not only bring you a championship, but to bring you the best style of soccer that you can possibly watch, and something that's going to replicate everything, all the values of this city.
Now open the floor to questions. If you can just say your name and media affiliation so Paul can start to get to know each and every one of you. And after this period, we'll then get into some one-on-one.
AJ Jacob at TSN 1200 Radio.
How are you?
Just in terms of the staff, do you anticipate bringing the same group back, or how will that be handled?
The coaching staff?
Yes.
I hope so. Great staff. You know, Philip and Martin are two people I want to work with. And we're going to do everything in our powers to make sure that we can make that happen. And I think we're currently in talks, and we want to make it happen. I want to work with them. I want to, as I said, I want to keep as much the same as possible.
And just a follow-up to that, do you have a connection with Bruce at all?
Yeah, Bruce was my babysitter. No, only joking. No, it was obviously Bruce is a friend of the family. He was a teammate of my dad, and obviously an iconic figure in the game. So can't wait to work alongside Bruce as well.
Chris Hotley from Ottawa Sun. Just wondering, have you had a chance to meet any of the players, and what kind of conversations did you have with them? As you said, it's a bit of a unique opportunity coming in with a team that has done so well, and obviously I'm assuming they had some questions.
Yeah, for sure. Yesterday I got to meet with most of the players, both as a group and individually. And obviously, there's, as in any team, it's normal. There's situations that need to be dealt with in terms of renegotiating contracts and deciding who we want to keep, who we want to replace, and then obviously trying to find new targets to fill the gaps. And great conversation with the players. And as I said, listen, there's no secret in this game. If you have a good locker room, you're going to have success. And everything that I learned via the media, really, before I came here about the spirit in this locker room is true. It's a very close-knit dressing room, and we want to try and keep as much of it together as possible. It's not going to be possible in every case to keep everybody. There's contract situations and personal situations that will determine some factors, but we're going to try our very best to keep as many of this group together as possible.
Jonathan Jobin from Radio Canada. Tell me, what kind of coach are you, and what can you bring to this team that you need to have this team?
Well, I think this team, obviously, this team was founded on defense, and it was the best defensive team in the country, and that was the right way to build a team. Mark did a great job with the rest of the staff doing that. When I said I'm looking at ways to improve it, I wouldn't have taken this job unless I thought I could improve it. It's more on the offensive side and probably trying to win the ball back a little bit higher and closer to goal, and try and play a little bit more in the opposition's territory than in our territory when possible. And obviously that's going to be the slight transition that I'm going to try and introduce for next season.
Dave Gross from the Ottawa Citizen.
Right.
Mark was exceedingly popular, as I'm sure you're aware.
Yeah.
Just your thoughts on coming in and filling his shoes, not just with the players, but with the fan base and that sort of thing. What can you bring?
Well, it's easy for me to fill Mark's shoes because I've got bigger feet. So Mark's done a great job, but Mark chose to leave. So Mark chose to leave, and he's gone on to what he feels is a better opportunity. So, as I said, it's not about Mark, it's not about me, it's about Ottawa Fury. And it's about trying to get as much success as possible to this franchise and to the city.
This might be one that John can answer too, but much has been made about the shoestring budget this team was able to work with to become successful last season. John, do you have more money for your new coach and GM going into this season, or do you expect to be doing this thing every day?
Yes, we do. I didn't like the word shoestring there, obviously, but
John's got no laces in his shoes.
that's right.
It's less than a shoestring.
A bargain budget.
No, I mean, it's important, and we mentioned this earlier this week, that we give our head coaches the resources and facilities that they need. And so, yes, they will have a substantially increased roster salary base this year, and I think we're very happy with that.
And listen, I'm not going to hide behind a budget. There's enough money for Ottawa to challenge and be successful. So what the details of that it's enough. It's certainly a substantial budget compared to what I was using, what I was working to last year, and something I'm very excited to be in charge of. There's enough money here to bring quality, enough to challenge for a championship here.
Out of the field question, you're aware that the region is bilingual. There's
Yeah.
a lot of French fans. Do you speak French? Or
Fluently.
Fluently?
Yeah. Je m'appelle Paul. Je habite à Ottawa. See, there we go. Fluent. See, there you go. Où est le gars? Le gars ici.
Try to get some more lessons to
Yeah.
be able to
My pronunciation's not great. Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah. I can't even speak English, so French might be a bit more of a challenge. But no, listen, I like to embrace culture, and obviously I don't think I'll be fluent by the time I leave, but I'm certainly going to try and pick up what I can.
Question for John. Tom Heineman rumored to be signed with Minnesota. Correct? Incorrect?
Well, I don't want to get into individual situations, but Tom Heineman is out of contract, so
Is he gone?
he is obviously free to go where he is. I have no knowledge that I can share with you on that.
From what we know, there's 5 players that do have contracts for this season. Can either of you confirm at this point that Mason Trafford, Colin Falvey, Pazer, obviously, Richie Ryan, and Ryan Richter will be back to honor those final years of their contracts next year?
Well, I think you're right in saying that those players are under contract. Paul's been here 24 hours, and we have spent, I would say, the majority of those 24 hours looking at a spreadsheet, looking at those players that are under contract, looking at those players that are not, etc. And you guys will be the first to know when we make those kinds of announcements that you're correct in the sense that all those players are under contract. Yeah.
I have to bring this up, but there's been a lot of rumbling about a mass exodus because Mark Dos Santos is leaving, and he did, as you've said countless times, a lot of the recruiting to bringing these guys here. Can you comment on that, or are you in a panic situation that
No, absolutely not. I mean, every club is in this situation at the end of the year. Yes, there's a change of coach here, but it is normal that we look and review everybody's situation and make decisions on what players we would like to bring in and what positions, and that's of course Paul's domain.
And the other thing, players can only leave if we accept an offer, if they're under contract. Right. So it's our choice, and that's what our contracts are written for a reason. So there can't be an exodus unless we agree to it. First and foremost, the players signed for Ottawa Fury, and they need to honour the contracts. But we're pretty confident we'll keep the ones that we want to keep, and we'll replace the ones that we want to replace. It's normal, any football club.
Paul, just a quick thought on, have you been to the city before, or in the region, and what do you think of everything that's here? Obviously a brand new.
I love it. I've visited a few times before, but it's a familiar feel. Obviously, I've been living in the United States for quite a few years, and this is much more like back home. Canada, it's got a great feel walking through the city, the bustling streets, and no one really too concerned about the weather. And it's a familiar feeling, and it's something I'm very, very comfortable with.